Many have extremely underestimated the situation on Egghead Island. Do you know how much the world government exaggerates here? With over 100 ships of all sizes, 20 large warships and a total of 30,000 marines, that's 3 times 10,000 and 6 times 5,000 or even 30 times 1,000. Plus 9 vice admirals as well. Damn, that's more forces than 2 Buster Calls. This will definitely be a crazy event, and if it comes to a fight, which is very likely, then there will be nothing left on Egghead Island. But first of all, feel free to like and subscribe this channel. It's one of my first videos on here and I have a lot of fun making these, so please like and subscribe. I sat down and asked myself, if it comes to the fight, who will compete against whom here? Directly I noticed that 9 vice admirals are there and the straw hats without Ruffy are also 9 people. However, I must honestly admit that the vice admirals all look very cool and strong. First of all, we have the gangster cousin of Whitebeard, Hawkeye's little brother who didn't make it to an admiral and is depressive now, and Vice Admiral Doll from the G14 base, my uncle, the best swordman in whole One Piece. This very strong looking doll, a guy in a suit cannot be missing of course in a group of strong people, Queen's little brother, and finally this random guy. They all look damn cool and extremely strong. I think that would be a perfect matchup for the Straw Hats. But it can't be that our bro Zoro fights against a cheap vice admiral. Zoro is after Wano Kuni someone who's able to defeat King and even has the Conqueror Haki. Never will he get a boring vice admiral as an opponent. I therefore take Zoro out of the list and put maybe Bonnie in, who might take a vice here. There will certainly be team matchups if it comes to a fight, but that should be not the topic of this video for now. We assume in this video that the Gorosei is also a fighting force. After the last chapters we could see that he definitely has extraordinary powers and he will not just watch while there is a head-to-head fight. It's almost clear that Ruffy will be fighting the Gorosei. Here I would also like to point out the cover page where I am firmly convinced that it is a hint from Oda that Ruffy will fight Saturn. These Gorosei can't transform into such beings just to watch other people fight. Now let's assume that Ruffy will be busy with Saturn. Then what about Kizaru? Kizaru is a character who is seen as someone with a very high, even endgame power level, and that's exactly how I think. We haven't been able to find out exactly what level admirals have since we have never had a whole battle to compare them to. But the fact is, someone has to take over Kizaru. Stay tuned to the end of this video because it will be really exciting towards the end. The first option I would like to present you is that Zoro here takes over Kizaru. I know it sounds absolutely absurd and crazy, but if you think about it, it doesn't seem so unlikely. Let's look at it very simply. Kizaru is definitely an endgame character in terms of his strength. Question is now, is Zoro also? Let's take Kaido's fight against Ruffy as an example of what it takes to become an endgame character. Oda succeeded very well to clarify this step with Luffy in the Wano Kuni arc, especially the extended Haki forms. First of all, the Rio Haki. Only with this Haki Ruffy managed to inflict any damage at all on Kaido. Without this, a character is definitely not on the endgame level if he can't otherwise penetrate the defense of a strong character. Zoro was able to do it in the first place in the Wano Kuni arc and left everyone shocked when he reopened Kaido's skull with a cut. So Zoro definitely has the attack power with Haki to be in the endgame. But the most important thing you need is the extended Conqueror's Haki. Strengthening attacks with Conqueror Haki is a must in the endgame. Kaido himself said only a handful of the strongest people are able to do this, and only then Luffy's attacks showed the necessary effect. As we know, our Zoro also succeeded in this. Even though he can't match Ruffy's Conqueror Haki in implementation or experience, he often strengthened his attacks with the Conqueror Haki, which is why Kaido and King were often surprised. So Zoro has already used the most important thing he must have to play on the top place. The last advanced Haki form is the Future Sight. Zoro can of course use the Observation Haki, however we have never seen a more developed use of it like we have with Ruffy, Shanks, Katakuri or even Kaido. This would be the only point where I could say or admit that Zoro still needs this to take his place at the top of the strength rankings. And I think that this is exactly what Zoro will do by developing on Egghead Island. After all, our characters still need development potential. Otherwise, Zoro's strength and skills technically is definitely able to play in the endgame class. I think even an Admiral could be a good next hurdle to soon even be on Emperor level. I don't want to open the legendary Emperor Admiral power level barrel here, but in my opinion, Admirals and Emperors are on about the same level, whereas Emperors like Shanks can definitely be positioned higher. I think if Zoro wants to be the best swordman in the world, he has to be even higher than the current Emperor level, and for that an Admiral would be the perfect challenge now. Zoro often emphasized how tiring and exhausting his attacks used with Conqueror Haki are. This means that his biggest power up for Zoro at the moment is simply his strength, intensity and endurance. And that can increase enormously in a fight like this one. Write now in the comments how likely you think it is that Zoro fights here alone against Kizaru. Many fans are also of the opinion that here in Egghead Island a battle royale will arise, so not a 1v1 matchup but a pure chaos. Oda himself even said that the next few years will be an absolute battle royale. So we should maybe also not expect too much order. I mean 30k soldiers and several warships showed up. Therefore it could be possible that other instance makes its move now. This is where the Revos finally come into question. Because even Garp or Shanks made their move and the revolutionaries are the only ones not starting it. That's why I would find a matchup Ruffy and his father against Saturn and Kizaru extremely amusing. It doesn't even have to be Dragon, Sabo would also fit in very well here. But to these matchups I will make a video in the next days, so please like and subscribe to don't miss it. Let's have a great time watching One Piece together. Peace out.